And honestly, all the members, friends and supporters I was talking to up to yesterday, I was confirming to them that we have a delegates conference today. But deep inside me, chances were 30, 70 that we would have this delegates conference. Why? You know the shameless people that took us to court. The personal assistant of my former deputy and his other friends, including Kagombe and Chibarama, took us to court. And they were seeking to block our activities. They were seeking delegates conference. And who did they take the petition to? We were informed is a cadre judge. A judge that once faced off with Comrade Waiswa on TV.
Whatever,
get the number. They are Ugandans.
I don't care.
You must respect.
So these 43 or 54 that died, or 100 or 200.
Let's get you
in the course.
Wait, I will not.
It doesn't matter what you will and what you will not. You will not what? Who are you?
Look at this dumb
Waiswa. Let's first get his argument.
So now we are name calling.
Yes, you said I'm a peasant.
After His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu coming out to swear as the continuing President General of the National Unity Platform, he came out to reveal that he was so scared that the delegate conference was not going to be there. We all know that the NUP is operating under a watchful eye of the dictatorship of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. At first, I came out to say that there was a small window of announcing for a national delegate conference. In fact, I was talking to someone and told him, how come that the National Delegate Conference, there was a short notice of those who wanted to vie for those positions. But now I understand that NUP is operating in the country and the government is viewing it as a rebel group. So some things are supposed to be done covertly. After Bobi Wine coming out to swear as the president of the National Platform, he revealed that there are some people who took them to court in order to stop the National Delegate Conference from continuing. Those people are Chibalama and others. I keep on telling people that Chibalama was once used by the regime. I remember the then CDF Muhoozi was even brought to court, a CDF to bring in court to give evidence. The respect I used to give the CDF Muhoozi crumbled like bread, because he was among the sober leaders in the army, but was used to take our political party. Yet, a soldier not supposed to be partisan. It's the truth. So Bobi Wine coming out to say that there are some people who wanted to stop the National Delegate Conference, and the case was taken to a cadre judge. We all know under this NRM regime, very many institutions have partisan judges, partisan lawyers, partisan public servants. And one of those is Simon Peter Kinobe. Simon Peter Kinobe has always been siding with the regime, even at its lowest. Is the reason as why he was appointed as a judge. And the same case that wanted to stop National Platform Delegate Conference was put in his docket so that he can give out a ruling. So in this episode, I've come to digest the message of Bobi Wine, what it means for our politics, and most importantly, the study materials we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagari. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. First of all, Bobi Wine was elected as the continuing president. He came out to say that he didn't believe that the National Delegate Conference was going to take place because there are very many saboteurs. And indeed it's true. The regime, some collaborators within the judiciary and everything are coming out to stop each and every NUP activity. Sometimes I wonder as if What is the purpose of having multipartism in a constitution? Yes, cannot be practiced. Any person who comes out to have a contrary view is seen as a rebel in the country. Okay, so Bobi Wine coming out to say that there is a cadre judge who wanted to stop a national delegate conference, it also holds some water. Before I proceed, let me first play you the tape of Bobi Wine. Here's the tape.
And honestly, all the members, friends and supporters I was talking to up to yesterday, I was confirming to them that we have a delegates conference today. But deep inside me, chances were 30, 70 that we would have this delegates conference. Why? You know the shameless people that took us to court. The personal assistant of my former deputy and his other friends, including Kagombe and Chibarama, took us to court. And they were seeking to block our activities. They were seeking delegates conference. And who did they take the petition to? We were informed is a cadre judge. A judge that once faced off with Comrade Waiswa on TV. So it was almost clear that the regime, using their cadre judge, are going to block this delegate. Some things happen not by our power, not by our might, by the grace of God. All we could do was to pray to the Almighty God and beseech Him that God, because you are powerful, because you're faithful, and because you stand by those that stand on the right side of history, you will stand with us. We were able to hold this conference. But again, we also know that because of your aggressiveness, your constant exposure of the double standards of the injustice, maybe the spirit of shame came over them yesterday. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We just had our successful delegates conference. We just reconstituted our National Executive Committee. And we are up and running. I want to congratulate all the winners.
That is Bobi Wine. That video, Bobi Wine came out to say that there is a cadre judge known as Simon Peter Chinove. I've followed Simon Peter Chinove since he was the president of the Uganda Law Society. When they killed the people, he came out to, on a debate of Waiswa Mufumbi, because in a video, Bobi Wine came out to say that they had an altercation with the deputy spokesperson Waiswa Mufumbi. They had an altercation. And the judge now, by then he was just an advocate, came out to praise how government killed the people. He quoted Eddie Tumine saying, because once upon a time Eddie Tumine came out to say that the government has a right to kill. And he was protecting that. They had an altercation with Waiswa Mufumbi. It's the reason as to why Bobi Wine came out to say that if the case is put before this judge who came out to praise the killings, do you expect equity? So Bobi Wine was right. In fact, here's the tape when the now judge, because the clip I'm going to play for you, it was Simon Peter Chinove against Waiswa Mufumbi. Bobi Wine just cited about that. After this clip, he was appointed the judge. Here's the tape.
In saying that police has a right to shoot and kill you when you reach a certain level of violence, I proceeded to add that the Police Act gives the police the right to use reasonable force to subdue a person. I went ahead and said that the question is what is reasonable force, and that has been interpreted in case law.
Can that reasonable
now,
force?
Reasonable force, let me finish. Reasonable force has been interpreted by court dependent on the circumstances, and I'm going to cite case law. I'm going to cite case law in the next few minutes because it's asked for case law. I will go to case law. So the question to ask was, when these 43 died.
54.
Or whatever.
Get
say
the
100,
number.
say
They are
200.
Ugandans.
I don't care.
You must respect.
So these 43 or 54 that
let-
died,
I
or
will
100
not.
or
I will
200.
not.
Let's get his
Apollo.
argument.
I will not.
in the
Apollo,
course
wait. I will not.
it doesn't matter
I
what you
will
will
not.
and what you
I
will
will
not.
not.
Well, you will not
Waiswa,
what? Who are
Waiswa,
you?
Look at this dumb
Waiswa. Let's first get his argument.
So now we are name calling.
Yes, you said I'm a peasant. You're Damba.
Chinobe.
You said I'm a
So
peasant.
now you see,
And you go there, can go there.
this is
Let's
this,
first get
this
his argument,
is what
then we'll get back to your
happens when you
Let's
call
first get
mental
his argument.
dwarfs
Go
to a
ahead.
show.
Get
You
ahead.
see,
Go
now
ahead.
you are losing an argument. You've started
Tell us reasonable
calling.
force. Tell us reasonable force. Reasonable force. Where police can
What you
shoot.
should know, I can handle you, my
No.
dear.
No, you can't.
I can.
You can't.
You
Let
are
me
here
tell
for a
you.
job. You are here for a job
That
interview.
stupidity,
You are here for
that
a job
stupidity
interview.
of threatening
We'll
people.
go for a
You
break.
are here.
We'll go for a
Nothing
break.
you can do to
Then we'll
me.
return back.
And
That is the clip. So I would want to ask those people, just imagine if you have your political case presented before Simon Peter Chinobe. A clear-cut judge, not once, not twice, he has come out, okay, to cheat the opposition, to attack it, to side with the criminal elements within the regime, and you present your case before him. What do you expect? Because, do you expect justice? I cannot expect justice when my case is put before Simon Peter Chinobe. Okay? In this day and era, the era has failed us. In Kenya, one of the institutions that is streamlining constitutionalism and democracy is the judiciary. Judiciary comes out to make rulings, not to pamper the regime, but to streamline democracy. Here in the country, you have cadre judges who want to entrench dictatorship and the 40-year rule. It's the reason as why in the recent appointments we saw faces of cadre judges like Simon Peter Chinobe, coupled with one of the weakest Chief Justice, Alfonso Winyidoro, who's partisan and lacking. I can cite very many examples as to why I think our judiciary was also subjugated. Parliament was already subjugated. Antamong was already delivered to the executive. Now even the judiciary, cadre judges are being filled in. And you expect that when we reach where our country must transit, we may have sober judges? Of course not. So Bobi Wine was right. In fact, after that incident where Waiswa Mufumira had an altercation with Simon Peter Chinobe, even the battle shifted from Sol TV, outside Sol TV, they attacked each other. So I think even that judge has some bad heart and blood with NUP. So Bobi Wine was right. He didn't expect the National Delegate Conference to happen. In fact, even doing some things covertly sometimes helps. Imagine if they had propolized it for a long period of time. Injunctions would come after injunctions. Even nominating candidates will be a problem. That's why anyone who doesn't understand Bobi Wine does not know that the guy has a hand of God. Of course, that's my opinion. Do drop me your comments by commenting about this. Thank you very much for listening in. If this is your first time on the YouTube channel, employ to subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more offset videos. Let me also take this opportunity to tell you that I'll be running as a member of parliament for Marking the East constituency. It is now or never to uplift the voice of the constituency. It has been long overdue when the voice of this constituency has been down. Right now, if they ask you who's your member of parliament, you can even fail to cite him. We need a voice. We need a leader who has brains. We need a leader who knows what to do. And there is none other than yours truly, Kavya Sulaiman Mawagali. I'm coming back. Mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, to ask for your support so that we cannot make a mistake. We cannot afford to make a mistake each and every electoral cycle where we vote in leaders who know nothing to do, who don't know the direction where the country is supposed to take. It is yours truly, Kabir Sulaiman Mawagali, who knows what to do for this great constituency. Of course, I'll see you on another one. Peace.
Kusaba kimuze mpala na bulungi abampala no bulungi nange benjagala obulungi.